Hi everybody, this is Pam with Jesus Junk Journals, and I'm about to show you how I did my cookbook signature for the retro journal. I'm not going to say it was easy, but you can see for yourself. Hopefully my mistakes might help you not have a hard time. So here we go. Okay, so I am working on the cookbook part of the journal. And I printed out some extra pages of these strips, and I thought I better shoot this video before I got too far down the road so I could tell you what I did. And you can do it however you would like, but I'm going to tell you how I did it. So I have a lot of extra, I printed out several extra pages of the recipe cards. And so what I'm thinking is, here's what I did. I took this page, and I'm going to use it sort of as like the cover, and I rounded the corners on the other ones, but I printed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages of yellow. And yellow is one of the pages in the kit, the main kit. And my German Shepherd's barking at me. I rounded the corners, folded them in half, and then I took the tabs. Oh, and I also, except for this one, which I messed up on, I printed yellow on both sides so it would look like the cookbook. So it's got yellow on both sides. And then I folded them all in half and lined them up, and I put them in the order I thought I wanted them to be in. And then I made them overlap just slightly. So I thought appetizers, because that's what you eat first. I don't know, but anyway, you might want to do it alphabetically. And then I did salads and sides. And then I did soup, stew and chowder. And then I did casseroles. And then I did meats. And lastly, I did dessert. And so then I also went by like, how much room do I need? So appetizers, I allowed an extra page in between because I figured I would have a bunch of more recipes for that. Sides and salads, I allowed a page in between. Soups and stews, I did not, just because for me, I don't have that many recipes for soup that I would put in there, but you might, so you can adjust it. Casseroles has an extra page. Meats does not, because I thought, well, meat, poultry, fish, I mean, that's pretty straightforward. I don't think I needed more than that space for it. And then dessert, I have just that much, which actually, I'm sure I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll probably carry it over to this back panel because I foresee several dessert recipes in here. So this is what it looks like when I folded it up. I went ahead and inked it. You may or may not want to ink yours. That's why my hands look like they do. So then I started to plot how I was going to do the little holders for the recipes, and I've had another idea about these. Originally, what I told you was you need to be really careful and stitch around the 3 sides and get really close to the edge because there's not a lot of room for the card to fit in. But I thought about it last night, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stitch it on this side, on the inside, and across the bottom. And that will leave the whole side there for you to be able to get your recipe card in and out. So that's my plan. So we'll see if it works. And I'll let you know after I sew some. And if it doesn't, I'll come back and say, no, don't do that. The other thing is, and I know this is a little complicated, and you can do it however you would like, but I don't like to measure, but I thought, you know, I think this time I better measure, because what I want to do is I want to stitch mine in. And so I need to make sure that they're in the right position on both sides so that when I stitch it, you're actually going to be stitching 3 pieces of paper. And I am just hoping and praying that that's not going to be a big problem. That does not look like a straight line. Okay, let me get my ruler out here. What I was supposed to allow was a 1/2 inch. And that's a 1/2 inch. And that is a little bit, no, I mean, it's a 1/2 inch. What's going on here? Somehow, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's an optical illusion. Okay, so I went a 1/2 inch and drew a line. And then I went up and did one at 4.5 inches from the bottom. So 1/2 inch from the bottom, 4.5 inches from the bottom. Drew a line. And so what I'm going to do now is just line these up with each other and see if that's easier. And that's going to make that hit right where that tab is. Let's see. I'll use a pencil so I can erase it if I have to. So lining the bottom up with this, marking it. So 2 lines, 2 dots over on each side, so then take a ruler and draw a line. So it's got a better chance of being straight. And you want to be just careful and aware of what's the bottom and what's the top on these. Make sure you don't flip anything around. I got a little crazy when I was inking and folding them backward and forward, and I had a little bit of trouble putting them back in the right order after I got done doing that. So, and you're going to want to do it on both sides. And I don't like doing things this precisely, but I just got a feeling, just have a feeling that if I do not, these are not going to line up on the back and front like I want them to. So I'm going to go ahead and do it this time. I'm going to bite the bullet and put my measurements in and do it and see if that helps. And this line will hopefully won't show if you put your little pieces of paper right on that line. It shouldn't show. Okay. Looking sideways, they don't look straight, but okay, now I'm going to do this one. Okay, now here we go. So here's what I'm saying. Like, here's the bottom. So you need to make sure you keep the bottom on the bottom, because it could go crazy if you don't. Okay, and this one's got the tab. It's giving me a little bit of trouble. If you feel better using a ruler on both sides, do that. I'm just kind of lazy, so I figure this is a little quicker way. And you don't have to make yours this big. Or if you want, you could make it bigger. Just add some more yellow pages. Now, I will say that originally in my notes, I said, oh, you can put 5 of these on each page. So you could, and you could stack these up as long as these don't go over the top. And you could tuck in, you know, 4 or 5 recipes on a page, but that would be very thick. And I kind of came to my senses after I thought about it and realized that's probably not the best idea. Okay, so this is the bottom. Okay, so now you can stitch your little squares, little rectangles onto these. And really, I'm like, do I really want to stitch these? I think it would be a lot easier if I just glued them. And I'm going to try and do 2 pinks and 2 reds on each spread. I think I had 5 different designs. I'm not sure, but okay. And you're gonna, it looks to me like you're gonna need to probably trim some of these down. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use glitter glue, and I'm going to glue these in and then stitch them. Let's see. And like I said, I'm only going to glue the one side. I want the side on the outside to be open to make it easier to get your recipe card out. Let's see. Huh. Okay, I've got this. And this is, okay, so like the glue is here, so that needs to go the inside. So I'm going to glue it over here because I messed up. So try one more time. Got okay, so the glue goes here on the bottom. Okay. And it's still going over the tab a little bit. Here we go. Okay. Okay. I had one hiding. All right. Well, I'm going to glue this one on. Okay, so this one needs to go over here. That's crazy. Okay. Bend this one back. And then trim this back. How these work. So yep. Oh, I want to pink one over here. Okay. All right, not too bad. So that's what they'll look like. So I'm going to go ahead and work on this, and I'm going to go ahead and do some stitching, and then I will come back and show you how it looks, how it turned out. But I think you can see the challenges. I think I demonstrated that, keeping the top and bottom and which side to put the glue on and so on. Okay, I am back. I stitched these. My stitching is not the best, I'll have to say. I struggle with the tension on my machine all the time, and I've tried different numbers and I just can't seem to get it to work for me, but that's all right. So here's how they ended up stitched. What I ended up doing was taking each page, stitching all the way down, all the way down, all the way across, all the way across. And because I had already glued these on lightly with glitter glue, they didn't move. So that worked fine. And then I put my, it took me 2 or 3 times to get my tabs and pages arranged just properly. But I will say this, the tricky part was to keep straight what was the bottom and where the stitches needed to go. So like on this one, I stitched across there before I realized it needed to go down here. So just, you can't daydream when you're doing this. And you might even want to put a Post-it or something up at the top that says top. And, you know, because you're going back and forth with this, you know, going this way and this way with them, it can get really confusing. So just, you know, be aware. If you marked them like I did, you know that this narrow band goes at the bottom. And so here they are. And then I realized I need to print out some more recipe cards, but it's pretty fat. By the time you put 2 on each page, I have a couple pages here, see, where I need to still put more. So it's going to be pretty fat signature, but it works. And so now all I have to do is, of course, write out the recipes. But anyway, that is the, oh, and then I've got this piece that I'm going to use sort of as the cover of that signature. So that's how that'll look. All right, that's all I have on this. So I'll go on to some other things on the next video. Thank you for watching, and if you like the video, click the like button for me, and please think about hitting the subscribe button. It doesn't cost anything, and it really does help me out. Thank you. Bye-bye.